Hi, everybody. Steve Farber here. I'm with my friends, the brothers Koren. If you have been in the extreme leadership community for a while, you will have met or at least been exposed to, if that's the way to say it, these amazing people. And if you're a little newer to this community, let me just take a moment to introduce you to Isaac and Torald Koren, otherwise known as the brothers Koren, formerly known as the Kin, and several other variations on the theme. I'm never going to let go of that with you guys.
Never do.
Never.
But they are world-class musicians, singers, songwriters, transformational leaders. They've toured with Pink and Coldplay and Rod Stewart and Bon Jovi and Steve Farber. Well, no, we actually haven't toured, but we have.
Not yet.
Every now and then they pull me up on stage, and it's always it just makes my day, month, year, whenever that happens. So I've invited them to tell us a little bit about what they're doing now. They have an event coming up, a free event coming up very soon, and we want to talk a little bit about what it is. So hey guys.
Steve, thanks for having us. Well,
Thank you.
By the way, it's our highlight when we get to be on a stage with you. So tag you're it on the shirt, of course. Inside joke. We next Tuesday we're having this live event, and we're so excited about it because it's really, for the first time in a while, an event for all voices from all walks of life. And I think we both as brothers love everyone's voice. A lot of people find that hard to believe that we love everyone's voice, but we really do. And we wanted to create an event that invites people back home to these whole body instruments, as we call it, these voices that a lot of us have been disassociated from and have maybe an unhealthy relationship to. Maybe we got burnt or inhibited to use our voice, certainly to sing. And it's really an event to bring home or create a space for people to come home into their body and learn to experience their full voice for all that it is.
We like to say calling the shower singers and the car singers onto the stage of their life. We find that when you free yourself with that simple act, this perhaps seemingly meaningless act of singing, we find that it shows up other places in life and in your courage and confidence to speak up, sing out, be more expressive of who you are at the core. And, that shows up in relationships, at work, we find, and just in a general sense of joy, vitality, courage, confidence, and fun. Singing can be terrifying, and generally is, but then on the other side of that is an immense amount of fun and energy, and as so we can reclaim a lot of colors back when we kind of step into our voice, and we've made it practical. We've found sounds that actually kind of move energy. Perhaps emotions can get stuck, but we want them to kind of stay in emotion, and the voice to us is like a tool for moving energy around, we find. And so we stepped into this work accidentally. So we're surprised at what we see and we find in our daily life working with hundreds of singers and songwriters alike. So we know that together, the work we've done together is about bringing us back into that dare to suck moment, as we call it, or the oh shit moment. And they kind of there's a meeting point there where you kind of jump off the cliff of not really knowing what you're doing and trusting that the ears around you are generous enough to love you and support you in just you having an experience.
So let's talk about this metaphorically for a moment, because I think this is really important for any leader, for business people in general. It's really easy to listen to what you guys just said and say to myself, "Oh, but I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. This is really not for these guys are great and all that, but really isn't for me." The metaphor is around the voice. It's kind of a metaphor, and it's kind of actually hyper literal. Now that I think about it, because we tend to think of finding our voice as people and as leaders as wrapped up in this whole discussion about authenticity, right? So what is my authentic voice as a leader, which means what do I stand for? What do I believe in? What am I willing to put myself at risk in order to accomplish? These are all the great leadership questions. What you guys do is give us the experience of actually working with our voice and using the singing voice to experience that. Not in a, I'm learning how to be a great singer to go up on stage and perform, just to be able to hear, to discover and then hear my own voice and develop the courage to hear my own voice translates into everything else we do.
Everything.
Whether or not we ever get up on the stage, whether or not we ever actually get out of the shower to sing, it's going to impact us in everything else that we do. So it's kind of like a living metaphor in a sense.
It's both a metaphor and a hyperliteral. I love how you put that. And so much of finding our authentic voice, we can kind of see it as this idea, like who am I? What do I stand for? And then we move to frame the words that match, and then ultimately we can create a beautiful performance of that. That's not our invitation at all. Our invitation is back home in this embodied voice. We mean literally this exact amalgamation of body material, skin, bone, cartilage, and space, that absolutely is designed by nature as beautiful as your favorite acoustic guitar, Steve, that each of us are these gorgeous acoustic guitars, these grand pianos. And we were actually practicing in our mother's stomach to get ready to voice and sound out who we are. And so when we actually return to the experience, and I think that's our word, we say, let's not start in performance. Let's return to the actual innate, native, natural experience that each of us are home in. And when we do that, we come home to our gravity. We dare to suck and let our true voices resonate, that people gather around us every time. Right. And when you bring that into your workspace, when you bring that into all of the work that you do in the world, authenticity is a resonant reality. Or at least
so in terms of this event, the date of which is November
23rd.
Yeah.
23rd. Anybody can participate in this without having to worry at all about, quote unquote, their voice being heard. In other words, you're not going to stick a microphone in front of some random participant and say, sing for us.
No.
Right? So I'll be able to participate in this and be totally safe in my own environment, go through the process that you're going to take us through to help me discover my voice and learn some principles around it. What are some of the principles we're going to be exploring?
Well, yeah, just to reiterate that, it won't be participatory for this free event, except probably your cats and your dogs will love every sound you make.
They tend to.
And your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids, we have to forego their opinions,
The kids are the toughest ones, but we understand. We're going to go through some practical, guided vocal experiences that you'll be able to do at home. And we're going to sing some of the songs that have been very important to us and kind of share the stories behind them. And we're with Stephen Dinan, the head of the Shift Network, and he's a very great host, guides us through with some questions. And we encounter what we call the 5 small voices, these little voices that get megaphones in our heads and steal the microphone from our big voice at times. That part of us that's always willing to kind of to share our authentic self, like you said. And these small voices are these negative thoughts, sensations, alarms, triggers that go off when we, put up our hand in a boardroom or have to, put our voice into bring our voice into our vocation, step into our vocation and our purpose and be aligned with, that authentic push and call that we have. So,
hey, I'm curious. Does the word vocation, does it relate to voice at all?
Oh yeah.
The history of the word?
I'm quite sure of it.
Yeah, I need to
go look that up right now.
That is something to look up. I have homework now. This is great. So let me make sure I got this right. When I show up for this free event on the 23rd, I'm also going to get a little bit of a concert. I'm going to hear a couple of songs from you guys.
That's for sure.
yeah.
That's
we're
reason
gonna
enough.
do that.
Forget the personal development stuff. Just show up for the music. It's really it's a very cool thing that you're doing. I've really enjoyed watching how you guys are taking your incredible talent in music and helping people to really develop themselves using that medium in ways that they never would have considered before. So again, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, "Yeah, I'm not a musician. It's not my thing." If you have any interest at all in being a more effective human being, in other words, making a positive contribution to the world around you, whether that world is your team or your company or your community or your family, your voice is critical in that. There's no way to have influence, positive influence, on anybody without your voice, and this is a really unique way to explore it. So I think it's exciting. I can't wait to experience it.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks so much.
I love hearing you speak.
Thanks
you.
for always making sense of what we're doing in such a beautiful way. For all of you out there, we can't wait to be with you. On mute, just knowing that you're returning into your instruments, like the best voice of your life is awaiting you. Whether there's a melody attached, or it's the way you speak, or the way you just show up and receptively listen. Watch what happens. Watch what happens when we return to these things.
Yes, and you can't watch what happens unless you're there.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
So November 23rd, the link is either in the email where you first saw this or on the video page where you're watching this. Go and register. It's free, and we hope to see you there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. See you, everyone.